man of tomorrow is yearning for a better Kansas. I'm your host, Khalil Bond, Kent Troy. My girlfriend Lois is a stupid journalist who never figured out my secret identity. Joined by my cohort, Superman's best pal, Jimmy Olsen.
I am the virgin. I am the knight. I am Brent Man.
And every vagina listening to this podcast just drowned.
That's right.
Speaking of Slater Harrison, our oracle in the chair.
The oracle.
Oh, yes, I see very good things coming into this podcast.
Episode, this book came, I think, our most requested book, which is so surprising because
After Mein Kampf.
Yeah, well, that was yours, and I kept being like, "Hey, man, it's okay to love yourself." And that's coming from one Jew to another. Superman is Jewish.
That's true.
Hey, come on, Superman Peter Parker.
I didn't put him in the Jewish superheroes list.
You put him in the George Santos Jewish.
Jewish, exactly. Peter Parker is Jewish, though. I'm reading him as Jewish.
He went to your bar mitzvah.
He did.
Yeah, and then left, and then Spider-Man showed up, and then you said, "Pete, where have you been? We just
It was crazy. The fact that Peter Parker and Spider-Man were both at my bar mitzvah, nuts.
And got molested by both of them. It's insane.
I don't talk about that.
That's how you grow up.
Yeah, that with great power comes great responsibility.
That's what the point of those.
Spidey's very problematic.
There never was an Uncle Ben. He was just an imaginary friend who would have protected you that day.
He became a man.
Kingdom Come is a book that I feel like a lot of people put up there as one of the greats, but can't really remember what it is. Mm-hmm. Right? Like before The Boys, before Invincible, before even, or maybe around the same time as Invincible, but Civil War. Mm-hmm. This was sort of the first deconstruction of, do we need the superhero? And whereas those ones, correct me if I'm wrong, Brent, those shows, the aforementioned ones, sort of go, no, we don't need them. This one, because it's written by fanboys and guys who grew up in the era of superheroes coming to screen, yes, we do need them.
Absolutely. This is a near perfect book, maybe a perfect book. It is absolutely incredible, and it's another example of DC crushes it when they go into the Elseworlds.
The Elseworlds. Can we talk about the Elseworlds
Yes.
for a second? Because Pattinson is Elseworlds.
That's
one of James Gunn's greatest decisions. Was we got so connected to Pattinson, and then DCU buyout happens, and we're like, did we just lose Pattinson? Zoe Kravitz, I don't care so much about. Just Google. There was going to be a show with Zoe Kravitz and Jaden Smith. Just Google Zoe Kravitz, Jaden Smith. Just don't do it on your work.
But we
computer.
are getting the Penguin show.
We are getting the Penguin show. I guess we're not getting the Gordon PD show, but they already kind of did that with Gotham. And James Gunn was like, people love Pattinson so much. Why are we just going to scrap this? Let's do it as an Elseworld.
Yeah.
All-Star Superman, Elseworld.
Exactly.
That was a tribute to the characters the way this was.
Let's look at some of the best DC stories.
Let's do so.
All-Star Superman, which you mentioned, this Kingdom Come, The Dark Knight Returns, fucking Watchmen, all Elseworld stories. Now let's
see the animated trailer,
dude. Yes.
What do you think?
Looks amazing.
Yeah,
because it's Watchmen,
and it's not directed by Zack Snyder.
Shout
out Snyder Bros.
Yeah, we love you, Snyder Bros.
We love you all. Please cast me in Rebel Moon, Mr. Snyder.
Now let's look at the comics that take place in DC proper.
Yes.
Final Crisis.
Your favorite.
Need I say more?
Yeah, that's
stupid book.
Again, I love going over your hate for Final Crisis. What's your beef with it this week?
Why are there vampires in it?
Do you know anything about the crises?
No, but
Can you explain the crisis events?
So the crisis events are these things in DC where it's maybe they think
Batman gets caught with his dick out.
Yeah.
And then there's vampires?
And he's like, well, you have balls the size of a tangerine.
Sucking blood and dick. That's good.
I'm in crisis here, Alfred.
How will this cup hold up against dogs? You're talking Rottweilers and Chihuahuas.
It was a different time in Gotham City. Okay.
I didn't know the bat was supposed to lick peanut butter off you.
All I said was, if you come into my room and I bat masturbate.
Well, Clark, the only word I heard was come.
So it's just a bunch of cum crises.
Yeah, it's like every time they have to reboot, they have a crisis.
Exactly. And there was one good Crisis, Infinite Crisis. That one was actually pretty good.
Yes.
But it started with Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was stupid. And then it got to Infinite Crisis, which was good. And then it went to Final Crisis, which was stupid.
At what point are we not alarmed by the crisis anymore? Can we just say, hey, this is a situation?
I think anytime the threat is world ending, if you keep using that trope.
Universe melding, too, which gets really weird.
Universe melding, I mean, they kind of did a good job with Flashpoint.
Yes, which is what I thought the Flash movie was going to be.
Yeah.
And instead they created a villain that didn't exist. They paid Stephen King, I don't know how much money to pretend it was a great movie along with Tom Cruise. And what did we get out of it? George Clooney and, the
best Superman ever.
Yeah,
Get into the cage, man.
who said he didn't
Yes,
even
yes,
film those
yes.
scenes. Have you seen the Nick Cage scenes? I think I showed them to
I
you.
paid them for my likeness.
He did, yeah. Kevin Smith could have done this,
Yeah. Slater,
Who would you like to have seen play a Superman? Because now we have David Cornsweet, who they just released pictures of him in the suit. And
that was cool.
Yeah.
I like his boots.
He looks great.
He looks like he's getting
He looks
ready
colorful.
for-
That's what I like about the suit. It's
A
colorful.
proud Jewish man.
That's the thing. Yeah, you know, you
getting
could
ready
take a
for-
page out of his
Yeah,
book.
of course.
You know-
I could be Superman if I wanted to. You think you're better than me? No one's better than me.
I love the brightness of the suit.
Absolutely.
Because that was the thing about Cavill, which I loved, and I thought Cavill was a great Superman.
I think, I was
But
gonna
like
say.
Superman's
Very
got to
good.
be bright.
Yeah.
You know, like he's the bright side. And this book sort of proves that to you as to why he has to be.
All-Star
see him
Superman
coming.
especially.
Yeah, he is the red, white, and blue. And I don't like the truth, justice, in American way. I do love truth, justice, and the man of tomorrow because that's sort of what the Magog and him are sort of going after in this one. And then we'll get to what Magog feels when he's faced with that. But like this is the way to do the way a depressed superhero in isolation is, and it's a. First, like Avengers Endgame, you know, like subverting expectations.
I agree.
And has some of the coolest fight scenes ever, too. The Shazam stuff.
We're gonna get to this, but I think I personally feel the fight between Shazam or Captain Marvel and Superman in this.
Don't dead name him.
It's the greatest fight name. It's the greatest fight scene that's ever been illustrated in comic books.
Yeah, and they did.
Did you like the Shazam movies?
The first one's great.
Yeah.
The second
okay.
one's horrible.
Yeah.
I refused for
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
The
I feel
first
like-
one's actually good.
I feel like he's just so corny.
Well, but that's kind of what makes it good because they lean into the corniness.
Yeah, so that's on purpose.
It just kind of reminded me from the trailers, like Johnny Depp playing Willy Wonka, where he's just playing Michael Jackson.
Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello.
I get you're a 10-year-old inside of an adult body, but after a certain point, like, okay, the second one, you got to get it. And plus, like, they didn't use none of his cool villains. What's that one, the parasite that, like, gets into his brain?
He's
You
in
can tell him what
the
to do.
post-credits.
He's in the post-credit,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
like... those
But
ones
they
aren't
use
going
Savannah. Savannah's probably the main...
Savannah,
Captain
Georgia?
Marvel. It's Savannah, Georgia. Dr. Savannah.
I don't want you on my porch, boy. Let's get off here. I don't want you or Mr. Terrific round.
Yeah, I was going to say, his villains are very problematic.
Yeah,
They have
you
not
got
aged
him
well.
and Lucy Liu, and
Lucy Liu. I like her.
you like Lucy Liu?
Yeah.
That was her
don't
one
like her?
chance of blowing it. I feel so bad for these actors who like get their chance to do, because like they have so much on their schedule. They don't know what they're not like us.
They're like, yeah.
They have lives. They're like, Marvel movie? Cool, sign
Sure.
up. That guy, I just saw the Craven trailer for the first time, and I was like, I don't think he knows what he was getting into. It has potential. My father and I looked at each other and watched the trailer and went,
He's going to be James Bond. He doesn't care anymore. Like,
is he?
That's what they're saying. I mean, I love that actor because he did Kick-Ass. You ever see Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
He was great Quicksilver too.
Yeah,
for the
he-
5 seconds he was.
Yeah, he was solid. I
You didn't see that coming?
I liked Evan Peters better. Not Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner?
Boner.
Ralph Boner. Oh my God, the biggest fuck you
Oh
ever.
God.
There isn't another. Most of the time with books, they usually have adapted movies or TV. They usually have some kind of live podcast reading. They have this really solely exists in book form.
Totally. They did the Captain Marvel Superman fight
In Justice League Unlimited,
but it
yes.
didn't have the same pathos,
Right.
Because it was more just them fighting. It was a nod to this story,
Yes.
But the sheer weight of this fight in issue 4, holy shit!
Especially, well, let's just get into
Let's
it.
get into
I
it.
love your
Yeah.
breakdown, and I love what you got. Give us the overview. Give us the background. Let's get
Awesome.
into it. I love it all.
Absolutely. And guys, obviously, feel free to jump in as we go through.
You said that like a guy who's trying to get kids into his car. Feel free to jump in as we go through. No seatbelt needed.
You want some candy?
The Candyman can.
The Candyman can,
start
cause
calling
the
you
Joker
Candyman.
blew
I don't wanna
up
be called the
Lois
Candy.
Lane real good. That was such a good riff, and Brent didn't even catch it.
Sorry.
It was
The
good.
Candyman can, cause he blew up Lois Lane and made her die real good.
Well,
it was better
good.
the first time.
That was
It
good.
was.
Whatever.
It
Who
was.
could take a sunrise? Shit on it, Brent.
That's Slater was talking.
Yeah.
No, don't put this on me.
I was simply responding
Yeah, you
to
were.
you.
That's true. I'm sorry. What were you saying? I was riffing.
No, it's fine.
What would you like to say about the book?
I mean,
Can I ask you a question?
what?
What would you do if you had the lasso of truth?
Hang myself with it?
I don't think you can.
So,
Because it would tell you that that's the incorrect.
So this is the quickest we've ever been demonetized.
Yeah,
We've had,
yeah.
Oh my
No.
God.
Last week
station
was.
jokes, and suicide jokes.
Last week
Yeah,
was.
I'm sorry. I keep
We've
forgetting.
mentioned Mein Kampf.
3 times. I mean, come on, we'll bleep them out.
Talking about jizz.
If you could put the lasso of truth on anyone, who would it be? A historical figure, person in your life, anyone. Because it doesn't force you to tell the truth; it compels you to tell the truth.
I know who I'm picking.
Who? OJ?
Jerome.
Oh man! Well, the thing is like he would say the same things because he thinks he's telling the truth.
Personally, I would just like to say, when Metropolis is sending over their metahumans, they're not sending their best. They're sending Magog. They're sending Parasite. Parasite. That's his name. Guy's name is Parasite. Captain Adam, spelled with a T. Adam used to be with a D. Now it's a T. What's going on? I've always thought Batman cute, but
And that's exactly what he would say.
Did you say cute butt?
cute, but Batman is a cute, but
Oh, let me be clear. We did have something to do with that explosion in Genosha.
Yeah, you know, I normally don't go that way, but I would fuck Batman in the ass.
Right up the ass. Right up the ass.
Yes,
Right up the ass. The Kennedy
yes,
sex tunnels. Here we
yes,
go on.
yes.
Cuban Missile Crisis no more.
I'm so sick of all the anal sex. What happened to good old-fashioned missionary?
And where is Martian Manhunter? Why is he hunting for Martians on Earth? They live in Mars.
All right.
And that was this week's impression, followed by Ben Mendelsohn. Have you been talking to the coast lately? Really, Galen? Farming? Man of your talents? Are we blind? Deploy the Harrison! That's pretty good, or whatever the fuck his name is. And I'll just sit here and keep saying it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kingdom Comes. The
Kingdom
overview.
Come.
Brent Bambaum wrote some beautiful notes. You haven't been talking to the cops, have you?
Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross, a 4-issue comic book miniseries published by DC in 1996. It presents a future
Same
where...
year?
Good year.
Oh, yeah.
Good year.
Not bad, not bad. It presents a future where the traditional superheroes of the DC universe have aged and new, more violent heroes have emerged. So the background is 10 years prior to the start of the series, the Joker, this is where we always begin, murders the entire
This was
staff.
more of a your Hamley. He's like old. He's like what Mark Hamill would look like in the Joker makeup now.
Yeah,
in
oh
this
yeah,
film.
absolutely.
That's what he looks
Absolutely.
like.
And the way they illustrate Joker is like...
I'm going to blow you up as soon as the stairlifter gets me up to the 10th floor.
This is why Joker is the best villain, because he doesn't give a fuck, and every horrible thing usually happens because of Joker.
Does not give a fuck.
Doesn't give a fuck.
That's the one thing Injustice got right. I
Yeah.
like the Injustice where like Superman would have taken him up to the atmosphere and he just punched him right
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
guts
yeah.
right after he blew up Lois Lane. And then again, you go for Lois Lane.
But yeah, he kills the entire staff of the Daily Planet, including Lois. Although I don't think they ever acknowledged that Jimmy and Perry were also killed.
Yeah, no, they don't. They
No.
just have one shot of Lois
Yeah.
before she becomes a barbecue.
Lois.
He's Lois.
She insists upon it.
She insists upon herself, Lois. She blew up upon herself. She imploded upon herself, Lois.
But before he can stand trial, Joker is killed in a very Lee Harvey Oswald, Jack Ruby type incident
Yes.
by this guy named Magog.
Who sounds like they threw up in the middle of naming him. Magog!
Yeah.
Magog!
I get it.
It sounds like Rod Serling when he's coming up with a twist.
Magog! Picture this. You have entered the O-Face zone. I'll say, is there room for one more? I got another one of my balls.
Magog. I don't.
Years ago, guy, he had a hell of a macaque.
I don't endorse his actions. They're I frown upon them, Dutch.
Dutch, what have you been doing on there in Guam?
Clinton, we gotta
don't
put this
worry
guy
about
away.
it. We got that boy from Kansas on the case. He's going to go in there and get rid of all them darkies in Gotham City.
Dutch, you can't use words like that.
I'm sorry. I meant to say basketball Americans.
Yeah, that's better.
Nancy taught me that one.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, Nancy, you mind coming up from under this
Yeah,
table?
Nancy, get up from there, goddammit. We got the Knicks downstairs. They're waiting for you. That's her metahuman power. We call her throat goat.
Oh, Joker's killed by Magog before he can stand trial on the Lee Harvey Oswald, Jack Ruby thing. And he stands trial, but the jury finds him not guilty, and he's widely praised for his actions because everyone's just like,
And Soups is pissed.
Yeah, Soups is pissed. He goes, how can you kill this guy? And the population's like, how can you and Batman and Wonder Woman and everyone just let guys like the Joker run free? So Superman is completely disillusioned.
Then we'd be out of a job.
Seriously. Superman's
Superman ain't
completely
shit.
disillusioned. He disbands the Justice League. He goes into isolation.
Becomes
He's also
Rick
crushed.
Grimes.
It's true, basically. He's got the ponytail.
Lois Coral.
Dude, yeah, his
Looks like
retirement
Grimes.
looks fucking weird. He looks like
Question.
Jesus.
Yeah,
How
it
does,
He's
how
doing,
does Superman shave?
Oh, well, they show this in the animated series. He uses the heat
With
vision.
the heat vision
Yeah.
thing? Okay,
Oh,
I was
that's
gonna
nice.
see if I could stump her.
That's smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth. Our main characters, of course, Superman, the man of tomorrow, Clark Kent, the most powerful hero and leader of the
As
Justice
long as
League.
you don't call me late for saving Lois.
It was theft.
She's in pieces, possibly pregnant. Or was.
You're leaving us in pieces, Clark.
Hey, please put me down. I thought this was a regular gay bar.
Oh, rest in pieces. Okay.
So Clark begins the series living in exile, and his return to action is what
In
sets the series in
exile?
motion. Exile, Clark. We don't need you anymore. We need heroes that take action.
Farming Clark, man of your talents. That's Ben Mendelsohn coming up to Clark Kent instead of Princess Diana.
Yeah.
She goes, Clark, what you doing here? You ain't been talking to the cops, have
Yes,
you, Clark?
Mendelsohn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see this, Clark?
Oh,
This is
yeah.
what happens. You've been in like 4 movies. 2 of them Star Wars. Not one killing him softly.
I like being in
What's
movies
the
with
hell with
Mendelsohn.
You ain't been talking to the cops, have you, Clark?
Yes.
Yeah, you are the cops, ain't you?
Give us more,
You're on
yeah.
Margaret Thatcher and Reagan's payroll.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting underneath them while they bump uglies. That's what I call thunder down under. I like my buddy Nick Cage coming along everywhere I
Yeah,
go.
down under
Nick
with Mendelsohn.
He ain't been right since he got hit in the head with a brick, but he knows how to say yeah. It's like a tragic Gary Busey.
This brick is hard, man.
Yeah, all right, time to go to bed there, Nick.
yeah.
So hard.
It's a sexy brick.
It's a hard guy to go
Yeah.
to a PTA meeting with.
I'm gonna fuck the Declaration of
Yeah,
Independence.
all right, we gotta go. You said that about the pledge in the last classroom. Shouldn't be mandatory, that's me.
I was gonna be Superman once.
You took a knee on the flagpole
I was gonna be Superman.
I could have been Superman.
instead of married Lisa Marie Presley.
And I said, yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Oh yeah. I never had much parental guidance. Or hair. Or hair.
Or a success of being Ghost Rider.
I'm going to make this hairline disappear.
It's gone. You see, if you want to go back to the way things were, call Pedro Pascal. See, the movie you two made everyone think they wanted to watch a movie with a pig. Back to Brenty.
Back to me. Batman is the...
Snap back to the Brentity.
Ow!
Oh, there goes summary.
Ow! That didn't sound like Eminem. That just sounded
So like
the-
Eminem getting
Yeah,
fingered.
that sounded like.
Is that you, mama? I cleaned out my closet.
Fuck you, Debbie.
Can I have spaghetti now?
I wish it was Mariah Carey. Never got over that one. Lost that beef.
Oh, man.
No, we're having a good time here.
That was Obsessed With You,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
That was the Mariah... Oh, my
and
God.
he lost that one.
He actually did that. She's the only person to successfully, like, roast Eminem.
Yeah,
Who
don't go
is?
at Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, well,
she was a
with the
metahuman. She was
song,
able to
yeah.
sing really high once a year during
Yeah.
Christmas time.
And that reached him all the way.
She
in
did.
his
And it
trailer
went
park.
right to Nick Cannon's balls.
Yeah.
That was there.
High above me.
That was almost there.
She's so
That was like the Barry Gibb version.
There's the Barry Gibb version.
All I want for Christmas is you, baby. I don't want a lot for Christmas. Talk about just one thing I need, and
Now she's like a soul singer.
Stream. That is what
we
we need.
need. I got Christmas presents under my green tree.
Sail away with me.
To the Gulag Clock, where we will lock up the prisoner. No. And then Batman does the dirty double crosser.
Speaking of Batman,
Oh.
the next main
Ooh,
character.
most like it was planned.
That's a segue. Batman, yes. So Batman is the leader
Who
of...
is Batman?
Who is Batman? We are all Batman.
Bruce Wayne. Did the Riddler know?
Did the Riddler know?
And Battinson?
Oh, no.
Really?
No?
No, he didn't.
What
Yeah.
makes you say that?
I think Bruce Wayne...
He was scared that he knew.
I think, Bruce was scared that
Yeah,
he knew.
yeah, yeah.
Bruce assumed that he knew, and
Right.
the way they marketed it is like they assume like they made it seem like he knew that Bruce was Batman in the trailers.
Yeah.
But I think Bruce Wayne embodied everything that he hated in the world, and he loved Batman. He was a Batman stan. So I don't think he would have been a Batman stan if he knew he was Bruce Wayne.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
right.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
wow.
that. I thought he did. I thought he knew.
So Batman is the leader.
Is the
of,
who?
He's the leader.
Who is
what?
Batman? I don't know who this guy
Hi,
is.
my name is what? My name is Who?
My name is Chicka.
Slim
My parents were
Batman.
killed in an alley.
Hi, kids. Do you
Like violence?
Do you
Want to
wanna
see me stick bullets into my parents' clavicles like I did?
Copy me and do exactly
Like
like Robin
Zorro?
did. Batman.
Try Ra's al Ghul, get fucked up worse than the League of Shadows?
My brain is
Dead
dead
weight
weight.
because Bane broke it over his knee and now I can't keep my back straight.
Indeed, I did. It was one of the greatest things I've done.
Oh, Sunshine, you wasted.
Now,
Now, why are you in the darkness? That is not where you were born.
They only do rap battles in the basement.
Batman is leader of the Outsiders, so Bruce is wearing an exoskeleton throughout the story to enhance his strength and to offset his older age and injuries that are implied happened after Bane and Two-Face found out where the Batcave is and his identity was exposed. And Batman is really resentful of Superman's decision to retire because Batman, more than anyone, he never says it, but he's the one who believes in Superman the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even more than Superman believes
as
in himself.
evidenced by that Justice League episode
Yeah.
where he died. And he's like, I'm not going to say he's dead. I'm not going to.
He refuses to acknowledge it because he knows how much Clark means to the world.
Yeah.
And Clark represents something that Batman can't represent, but he knows that you need Superman.
Do you think there's anything Batman represents that Clark wishes he could represent?
I think
Because Batman wishes he could be more like Harvey Dent. He wishes, I don't know if he wishes, but part of him, I think, wants to be more like Superman. Is there anything about Batman Superman sort of envies or wishes he took more after?
I think Batman's knowledge of who he is, because he says this to Batman, and then he goes, don't pretend like you think inaction is the way. I know you, and I know the most important thing to you is preventing the loss of life. And I think he does admire that about Batman, because Batman's like the goth kid from your high school who's like super emo and pretend and listens to Billy Joe Armstrong all the time and just pretends like he doesn't care about anything. But at the minute he hears that his mom is sick, he just runs home and he's like, is just praying to God. It's like, I will do anything.
The world's finest representation.
If anything, I think Batman's kind of the middle between Superman and Wonder Woman. She's almost on the other
Yeah,
side.
she's
That's
fucking
a good point.
She's
crazy.
crazy.
Oh, you're talking ideology. Yeah. Okay,
She's
yeah.
psycho,
Sorry,
man.
finish your Batman
She's-
summary. And then
Oh, no,
go
I was
to-
done with Batman.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
so
now
then,
perfectly into Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That's
Look
why
at that.
I thought I said it, but then I was like, I definitely cut Brent off. God damn it.
No, it was a perfect transition.
What's going on with Wonder Woman here?
So Wonder Woman is the Amazonian princess. She's been exiled from
Happy Prime Day.
Themyscira. Happy Prime Day. She's been exiled from Themyscira due to her failure to bring peace to the world. So Wonder Woman is the one who convinces Superman to come out of retirement, but it's almost kind of like Wonder Woman's got her own agenda. Wonder Woman's basically been radicalized.
As all women do.
Yeah, women be shopping.
And agenda in.
They put out what they get. What they get.
You don't need a lasso of truth to get me to say that one.
Well,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's kind of saying to Superman, like,
Let
hey,
me vote.
I just want to have a say. I was from a jungle, damn it, and I just want some society and some civilianship. Why do I sound like Cosby?
You see, the thing is I was born in Themyscira. I don't have a mother or a father. You see, they took me out a piece of clay and they molded the clay and they go, you
Wait, so are we just doing problematic impressions right now? Because I've been saving this one.
I mean,
for a
okay,
while.
people. 17. You can drive a car. You can have a permit. You can go to school for the first 6 months.
You can leave the jungle.
Tell me, you can leave your parents.
You never read
People
that?
yell at me for cheating on Maria, but I've never been a predator.
I could do it.
Oh my God, that's great. That was a great underrated joke.
That was good.
And Danny Glover's like, I could have been a predator too.
God damn.
I'm getting too old for this shit. And the Wonder Woman, I think, has kind of the
She says to Superman, I'm not phased. I hang around big stars all day. I don't see what the big deal is anyway. You're just
plain old Batman to me.
Oh yeah,
girl,
Diane,
right?
run that name. Diana Red, what's his name? Rotten pieces. You made of clay.
Oh, that's great. First off, you don't know Clark.
Kent. Kal-El.
Kal-El.
First of all, you
Oh.
don't know Kal-El. Cause I can't be your Superman.
Your
my wife
Superman.
got blown to bits. I'm hiding in Kansas with my fake ass cows.
I'm building roofs and shit. I don't know what to do. I like carpentry. That's my only talent now.
Bitch, you make me swirl right in the sun. Find a nuclear missile.
I like hammers. Hammer time.
I miss Martha Spaghetti.
I'm wearing overalls in a time where it wasn't around.
Huh?
Suspenders.
That's an awfully hot parasite.
So Wonder Woman says to Superman, come out of retirement. This guy Magog, he's ruined the world. He's murdering people. He's murdering villains. Like, he's essentially like the Punisher. He's an anti-hero. But the thing about Wonder Woman is she's kind of like Magog. Like, she wants Superman to bring the Justice League back, but she's kind of taken on Magog's morals.
Much like the Themysciran and the Atlantean War and Flashpoint.
Yes.
That's what I mean. I guess.
Well, and this I think is a common thing with Wonder Woman, and this might have been introduced here by Wade and Ross, how she crosses the line in a way that Superman and Batman won't.
Yeah, she is on her period.
Why?
This whole book.
What is that line, and why does she cross it?
I think she thinks sometimes the ends justify the means.
Yes.
And I think she thinks that sometimes Superman and Batman are too idealistic, and that because this happens in Infinite Crisis. I know we brought this up on the Does Batman Kill episode where Maxwell Lord is controlling Superman, and she kills him because that's the only way to free Superman. Because if a villain is controlling Superman, they can just do whatever they want.
Right.
And Batman and Superman
Get on your stomach.
Yeah, and Batman and Superman refuse to acknowledge her, and she's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, this guy would have destroyed the world." It's kind of like in Game of Thrones, like Jaime Lannister killed the Mad King who was going to commit genocide, and Ned Stark never lets him forget it. He goes, "You broke your oath. You're a man without honor." But Jaime did the right thing.
Can you tell me who Norman McKay is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Norman McKay is the narrator of our story. So the Spectre recruits Norman McKay to serve as his human anchor and guide us through the events leading to this potential apocalypse. So Norman is a pastor, and he was a close friend and spiritual confidant of Wesley Dodds. And Wesley Dodds was the original Sandman, who was an old-school DC character who sees...
Which is now on Netflix.
But they are linked, actually, because Dream, the main character in that story, they retconned it so that Dream is the one who actually gave Wesley Dodds those visions.
Okay, yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah.
The whole Wesley and the Visions Inspector. What's going on here?
Yeah, so Sandman's powers are just that he can see like apocalypses in the future. He's like Madam Web, but he's just much more bummed out.
Oh my God, I was really hoping that was not the case. I was like, I'm missing something about this. I'm missing one level.
His powers suck.
But he can only see like catastrophes. Like it's got to be on a huge level.
Why can't you ever see something positive?
He's like, I didn't know I stubbed my toe. I'm fucking pissed.
I think he's like, please, true believers, I need to read up on Wesley Dodds, but I think he's like Raven from that story. Raven. I don't think he can control necessarily what he can see.
And he's just,
she had powers?
He just turns into sand and is like, oh.
Raven Simone had powers?
And that's a Raven?
Yeah.
Yeah. She could see into the future.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's in the theme song.
The Raven I was watching
they pause
was
every
on
time.
Teen Titans.
Oh, great Raven.
Asriath Metrion Synthos.
So he can't control it. It just happens to him at random.
Yeah, but he can pass on the
Tell me
visions
about
to
it.
someone. Nice.
Hey.
A guy with a lack of self-control. That's wild.
Crossing my legs and these
That's
underoos.
yeah. Oh, bulge-tastic.
Ooh, it's a bird. It's a plane. Ow, my eye.
It's just a
Hit
flying.
me right with his Daily Planet.
I'm blind.
I'm blind.
Call me Matt Murdock. But yeah, so Wesley has the power to pass on his horrible visions to people when he dies. So he chooses Norman, and Norman's like, "Why? What? No."
What am I supposed to do with this? And even when he's faced-
How?
Are you kidding?
When?
What? When? Where? And of course, why?
It's sometimes how.
How?
Yes. Yeah, why? Why?
Well, see,
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. You guys ain't been speaking to the corpse, have you? Lyra. Oh my God, look, it's Lyra back from the dead. It's a miracle.
It's a
You ain't been
lyrical.
talking to the corpse, have you? Yeah, I'm Ben Middleton. I'm going to do the rest of this summary. Up next, we got this guy. His name is Lex Luthor, all right? A man who, he can eat a cheeseburger out the back of his neck. Goes, nom, 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 nom. And no matter how many times this guy gets fucked by Superman, he comes up and alive. Do you know why? Because he got a heart from one of the Rockefellers.
Yes. Yeah, he's bald.
All right, Nick,
Like me,
listen, we
I'm
almost made it
bald.
through a whole explanation without you creaming your sweatpants.
Oh, I can't help it. I
Oh,
get
my
excited.
goodness. Face off. Face off.
Face off. Yeah, I was in that movie.
Yes. I know, we watch it every night. He doesn't know we're watching Blue's Clues, the holiday special.
But yes, Norman was chosen by Spectre to be the to basically be the judge of the unfolding events, because that's what Spectre does. He judges people.
Judger.
He's a judger. And so Norman is the moral center. He's kind of questioning the actions of the metahumans, and he's wondering if there's a better way.
There's
And
not.
no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, kill the metahumans. They're fucking us all up.
We need to kill the metahumans.
If it's so simple, why haven't you done it already?
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
How much you want?
Half of Lex Luthor's bald medication.
You're crazy.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You see, if I lose my hair, I'm gonna look very handsome.
Give me one reason why my boy shouldn't pull off your hairpiece right now.
How about a magic trick? I'm gonna make your hair disappear. You know, let me get out my clippers.
I'm Stephen A. Smith. What'd he do to me?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Have
Wow.
fun hosting ESPN's First Take.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor, the leader of the Mankind Liberation Front, which is basically just the Legion of Doom, right?
Imminent front.
That's all it is. Like, even they're at
Liberation
their
Front.
bad guy table. Didn't they say, like, they took over for Roz?
Yeah, it's their son between
Yeah.
Bruce and Talia who took over
Right.
for Roz. Riddler's there.
Wait, there's son between Bruce and Talia.
yeah, who's
Damien?
It's not because this is before Damien was written as a character.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
yeah.
So this is after Son of the Demon?
Oh.
Because that was the first time we saw Roz, Talia, and the love triangle pregnancy thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think this is just a new character they wrote for.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. It's something totally random.
It's hard to pronounce.
Totally random.
Yeah, random.
That's his name.
Mr.
Hi,
Random.
I'm Tony.
He just
Random.
pops in and all the time.
Doctor Totally Random. Thank you very much.
If you were a
Dr. Random.
if you were a bad guy, what would your bad guy name be? Slater feels like a bad guy name.
It does feel like a bad guy.
Yeah, it is. I got a lot of faces. I
It
don't
would
know.
be Slater Goering, Slater Himmler, Slater Eichmann.
Slater's Spectre. No, I need the.
I actually kind of like Slater Spectre.
Slater Spectre.
Very James Bond.
What's my power?
Slater Spectre and Troy Bond. I dig that.
Yeah,
I
Slater.
gotta have a name
villain.
too.
What?
I gotta have a name too.
Well, yeah.
I want a name.
Well, you already have a cool name. Let me-
Everybody's getting
No, I want
names.
like a superhero name.
Okay, let me think of it.
You're 5 years old right now.
Yeah.
Okay, Chuck, do you keep your first name, Troy, and do a last name, or you want to completely
Wait, do you
new
want a
one?
hero name or a villain name?
Do you also want some orange slices? I got some
Okay.
for you in a bag.
My name is Troy Bond. That's my secret identity. But my superhero's name is
Troy Diarrhea.
has the ability to clear out restrooms in any airport across the country. Is that my villain or hero power?
You are
He's a hero to some.
Glastonbury.
Yeah, he's glass to me, man.
Glastonbury. He cuts.
I'm gonna make
with
this
glass.
Pepto-Bismol disappear.
Watch me shotgun it. Right up the ass.
What would yours be, Brett?
My name?
Yeah.
Brent Danger.
Yeah, Brent Danger.
Oh, okay.
You can go either way.
All right.
We're slightly uncomfortable,
All right.
man. But if he were a superhero, his superhero name would be Power. What did you say yours was?
Slater Spectre. Apparently.
Silk
I gotta-
Spectre.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought it was stemming from somewhere.
Well, it can't be
coming
your first
from-
name because people know your first name.
All right, fine.
And Frank, that's your middle name.
Yeah, that's true. That could be your hero.
You're like,
That
hey,
could-
who
that
said
could be your
Anne
hero
Frank? Who's
name.
talking about Anne Frank? That was not in her diary.
Hey, what you're doing with your hand, just move it up again.
Small Revere. Small Revere.
I like
Small Revere. Duh. How'd I forget about that one? Let's bring that back.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait, what
Small
happened?
Revere.
Oh,
What's
what about Cumface?
Cumface is he's in the works. I gotta show you the Cumface.
He's always around again and again and again.
I love Cumface.
Yeah, his foe is Master Bater.
Nice.
Things are getting weird.
Cut that.
Small Revere, what's my power then? I can't be
You're
like
Captain Atom.
I can't be like
or Ant-Man. You
Ant-Man.
can get small.
Yeah, but and I go and tell everybody that the British are coming.
Well, what did Ant-Man do? And
That's what Paul Revere did, right?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
the one that was like, the British are coming. So I just warn everybody about
and
the
you
UK.
always get to come on to the Beast Boys song. That's your superhero.
I
song.
ride a horse. I'm on a horse.
Oh, is that your? Nice. Look at your man. Now back at me.
Now back to
me.
me.
Now back at
To
me.
me.
Is that your walkout song?
My
No?
name is Small Revere,
Stick
and
in
I'm
the
on a
box.
horse.
Nice. Oh, that's a good one.
I forced
yeah.
it on her once, and now it can't get going.
Yeah, it's who I am. I have a collection of boxes with dicks
Who
in it.
was Lex? We went over the Mankind Liberation Front.
Captain
but we have
Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Bruce knew, I think, but like one of the great twists and also very sad.
This is one of the best Captain Marvel stories out there, and he has very little dialogue. And also, we're going to call him Captain Marvel. I know this is Shazam because Marvel sued DC and said, "Hey, you can't have a Captain Marvel when our."
But
company's name is
Stanley's
Marvel."
dead, so
Stanley
come
dead.
collect these checks and send them
Bring
to
'em
Jack
out.
Kirby.
Thank you. This guy gets it.
That's so the nerds won't get me, but I will get a call from Disney tomorrow.
Yeah, so Captain Marvel is the only hero that can match Superman in strength, and for some reason, he's allied with Lex Luthor, and we don't know why.
But we will.
Because he's running for Congress, and Luther wants lower tax cuts.
It's true. You
Yeah.
you gotta get that money.
You gotta have at least one bald
Gotta get
guy
that
in the group.
Yeah.
And then, so Magog is the new most powerful hero in the world. We touched on him earlier. He killed the Joker, and then he became the top hero. He gained fame, but as a result of his vicious methods, tons of heroes have copied him, and the world is filled with these metahumans that just murder people that they see as villains, and it's horrible. Do you think that was an homage to the Lee Harvey Oswald death?
110%.
That's what I thought.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, you have to figure Alex Ross and Wade.
Oh yeah, Mark Wade. Yeah.
Like those guys grew up in the 50s and 60s. That's why they're first of all, their costumes are so great. In this one, not as much because they're older and they're armored. But you look at Alex Ross's art; they're all oil paintings, and he also does them. He bases them off of action figures, and he says the suit you should be able to know the difference between the suit and the skin. Mm-hmm. Which is like what I love about on cartoons that works.
Right.
It's kind of hard to get that to translate in live action. But you can look at Chris Evans. You could look at Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, you see everything.
You can it works, and it also makes you feel like, okay, yeah, these are superheroes, but like if I get in the gym for a few days, I could be like,
There's
that.
still, that it keeps the human aspect.
I'm glad you mentioned his art because that's what Ross is known for. This kind of photographic realism style of art. It's built around his use of watercolors.
Yes.
And so most other comic book artists, they use line art. So I mean, you as an artist, you can probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were talking about this, and it's crazy because like that has to take. I mean, just from experience too, it definitely does take a lot more time. Mm-hmm. And like the fact that he did so much of that throughout it is like crazy.
If anybody listening to this can get a chance, he has a YouTube channel where he breaks down how he draws certain characters.
Sick.
He's like one of the few comic book artists to master social media. It's brilliant watching because he just tells stories about what the characters meant to him as a kid, and then tells you why he's drawing the things like this way and why he needs the action figure posed that way. And it really comes to life in every single panel of this.
It makes it, like,
how many times do you hear me
gritty.
say I read the art? Because like it's a whole other part of the story.
Yeah.
But you ever read the Arkham Asylum book where it's all
Dude, that book is twisted.
That's what this one reminds me of in the realism, because that's all squiggly line. You feel like you're in a insane asylum. This one, like the stakes are up because it looks like people.
Or the Venom Carnage book that introduces Toxin for the first time.
Yeah. You feel like you're reading something from the real world based on that style. Like it just feels more authentic.
Well, I think-
so you feel like you can relate more
Well,
when you're in it.
I think that's the point of having it from Norman's perspective.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you want these you want these heroes
That's a good point.
to be seen through the eyes of a human. Thank you. I mean, he does
Yeah,
that.
because I didn't understand the fucking point of Norman. To
Well,
be honest with you.
that's what happens in the Marvels. The Marvels, it's all about these huge Marvel events that take place from the viewpoint of a reporter at the Daily Bugle. So he sees the Namor Human Torch fight. He sees the Galactus arrival on Earth, and it's all about like what these events would look like from the perspective of a normal human. I think that's and because they're both Alex Ross.
Right. God. Yeah. He
That's-
just
Nailed it.
you look at his pictures, that famous one of Joker and Harley with the two of them.
I love that one.
All his Batman stuff is the best. All of his Robin stuff is the best. And it's also just like let the fans do their passion. He's been drawn since he was 9 years old. And you figure like I have to read through like this because I want to see how he drew an eyelash because it's going to be different from the last panel. you know?
There's
Like,
a reason why when the fans do it, it's amazing. There's a reason why the MCU is so good because Kevin Feige is a fan.
why I don't think AI is going to go anywhere
No.
because there's no human passion there that create like say you're going to write a Superman story and there's a character you want in there that teaches you a really valuable lesson. A computer's not going to have an uncle that you could use as a substitute to say, I'm going to pretend he's my Uncle Tom who taught me to throw a ball and then gave me the courage to cream pie women, whatever. AI doesn't have that. AI just has the formulaic result of what they can.
We're not cutting that.
Just every part of that. I have an uncle named Tom, Uncle Tom, who taught me how to creep
Oh
my women.
my god.
I didn't
Brett's
say
like,
it.
oh
Shout
yeah.
out Uncle Tom.
So before we dive in, the last major character
Yes.
is the Spectre, a.k.a. Jim Corrigan. So he's an agent of divine retribution, but he needs a human perspective to help determine the moral righteousness of actions taken by heroes and villains. And who is that that human he chooses? Norman
Reedus. McCoy.
Norman does not want to be a part of this story at all.
Yeah, I feel
No,
like
he's-
every time he talks, he's like, fuck.
Let me back to my cold congregation.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's like, just let me go.
This is I never read the Marvels. What was the Marvels?
The Marvels is that it was his first miniseries, so that's like the retelling of the major Marvel events from the perspective of a writer of the Daily Bugle. So it's like, what would happen if the Human Torch and Namor were fighting and that someone was just witnessing this? How would it affect them? And what would happen if you were just some person in New York City and Galactus and the Silver Surfer showed up invading the planet?
How do you feel about this whole? Is it because there's superhero fatigue? I guess at this point it wasn't as much anymore. But aren't the point of superheroes? Yes, you can go into the morally. Should they be here? Should they not? Should they answer to somebody? Should they not? Aren't the point of superheroes for them to be good and a symbol of hope?
Yeah, something
Right,
bigger
like-
than ourselves.
Yeah, and they're going back and forth to try to figure out: do we stay in hiding? Do we put the metahumans in prison? Do we get Norm to tell them that they're going to choose Armageddon? They really haven't. The only person to make up his own mind of what he wants to do absolutely in this book is Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank God Batman had the exact opposite plan in many degrees because that is what saved both of their lives.
Absolutely.
And
Didn't Norman say at the end, he was like, they need hope. Like that was the.
that's
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah. Full
is
circle.
that hope?
Wow.
Is he? I looked at him as the symbol. What he was talking about.
Oh yeah, no, I was just thinking of the stupid line from the Snyder movies with the S. It's just, it means hope on my planet.
Oh
How do you
my
spell hope?
God.
S.
Yeah, just
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Can't spell hope without S. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
it stands for soap on my planet.
Soap. I love soap. I clean my body with soap.
Fantastic. I
Now
truly
eat your
enjoy
dinner.
sitting at the Hall of Justice table with you all.
I really
Me as well.
do. Especially when like you or anyone just like puts their arms out like that. You're like, this is happening. We're making justice occur.
Yeah, this is what we're doing on a Wednesday
WW
night,
Justice League D. Huh?
Nothing.
Ooh, you're burping
Nice.
too.
I did
It's
it to get back at you.
contagious.
I have a Wonder Woman tiara for you if you want it.
Oh, really?
Should we start the plot summaries from the
Start from the beginning.
beginning? Cool.
Yeah.
Now that we've suited up and I've got the rest of the team,
Suit up.
But what happens with in Kansas?
So, yeah,
with
so-
our boy Parasite.
So Parasite, which is a villain that absorbs other people, he's really not that strong a villain. And Magog, who's the most powerful metahuman hero, gets 5 other heroes to fight Parasite. Parasite's so overwhelmed, he's begging for mercy. Magog doesn't give a shit. He's beating the shit out of Parasite. So what does Parasite do? He takes Captain Atom, he rips him open, which causes basically a nuclear bomb because Captain Atom is made of nuclear energy. So basically, a nuclear bomb goes out in the Midwest. It kills,
Splits the atom,
irradiates the entire Midwest. 1 million people are killed, and Superman is like, you know what? This is no good. This is not kosher. I got to come back.
He doesn't do any copy paste with their expressions either. Like every panel, it could be Wonder Woman touching him in one panel and then sort of recoiling in the next. There's no like copy paste. It's all him, hand drawn, hand detailed. I mean, who was Spectre before this? Anybody?
He's kind of like the living tribunal in Marvel. He's like the DC version of that.
Yeah, all right, yeah. And Flash cannot be a physical form anymore, right? In this?
Right, and it's also, the Flash in this it's not, it's Jay Garrick.
Barry was the first.
Jay was the first.
Jay was the first.
Barry's the most famous. Wally's the one we grew up with.
Yes.
Because he was the Flash
He
on
was the
Justice
Flash
League,
in Justice League and Lex Luthor. And
then there's Bart Allen.
And Kid Flash?
That's Wally.
That's Wally.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it
right,
becomes
right.
Bart.
Yes. Yeah. Who the hell are you? I do love how they talk about where every single hero, what they're doing. Green Lantern's waiting for that cosmic threat. Hal
like
Jordan,
in a
I'm
little
assuming. That's Hal.
What?
I'm assuming that's Hal.
That's Hal.
They're talking about everybody sort of just holding it together, and he goes, "Well, what about Batman? There's a. I do recall he was one of them." And he goes, "Batman keeps his city under control." And when we see Batman, he is protecting minorities.
He is.
Instead of jailing them.
That is true.
No longer the Dark Knight. I
A
learned.
knight in new shining
drop
armor.
that.
I like this fit.
I like that the Spectre keeps bringing him places, and he's not telling him why.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know.
Shotgun.
You'll figure that out.
Norman's like, this is why you don't become friends with a guy named Wesley.
Yeah. And when, tell me if I'm skipping over anything, Brent, but when he's saying that the bad metahumans sort to attack,
yeah,
and then that's when
the
bum,
parasites.
bum, the league shows back up, and they're like, hey, we got this shit
we
from
back.
here, son. We back. Not all of us, but we back. I got Dick to take up the mantle of a Robin.
That is
could have just been Nightwing.
that is true. That brings us into Chapter 2, Truth and Justice. Superman comes out of retirement, reassembles the Justice League. We got Wonder Woman. We got Green Lantern. We got the Flash. We got Hawkman. Do we got Batman? No. We got Dick Grayson.
I love the cover of book 2.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Because who do we see? We see Norman. We see Superman. We see Dick. What is the significance? What is the religious archetypal thing that they have going on over here? Because Kingdom Come, you want to recite it? You did it this morning. It was amazing to me.
From kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses.
Is this New Testament?
We forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Please, Superman. Amen.
Yo, the Bible is so much more legit when it's not in Hebrew.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never had any idea what I was
You are
reading
the
in Hebrew
last
school.
person I would ever expect to hear that.
I just had no idea what I was saying. Baruch Hashem.
Hey,
Yeah, what does this mean?
this sounds terrible. I don't
So
want to be
bored.
a part of this.
I wanted to be at home watching Justice League.
And I was.
I look, when it comes to all this Gentile Gaiam stuff, I'll definitely defer to you guys. But
Our Father who art in heaven. Are they referring to Superman? Right there. Hallowed be thy name. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that's, what's his name? Norman's, what's the old guy's name? Wesley?
Wesley Dodds.
Wesley Dodds. Wesley's whole thing is like, this is going to be done not just between the gods, but between the gods and mortals are going to die too. And forgive us for our trespasses, as Bruce Wayne does when he breaks bread with Lex Luthor, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And we see that Superman, I never would have expected to, I never liked the Superman Wonder Woman relationship because for me, it's like Spider-Man, Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Superman, Lois Lane.
Totally.
But that temptation that he sort of felt toward Wonder Woman was a deliverance from evil when we find out this surprise at the end.
And these are also two kind of broken people. This
Ooh,
is
Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely had their God status revoked.
Yeah.
Superman did. Wonder Woman's one mission, which was to come and be an ambassador for the rest of the planet for Themyscira, they deemed her wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it makes sense what you said.
Can you just give me one of these? Wonder Woman!
Do I have to say it too?
Yeah.
We'll say it for you if you cross.
Uh-huh.
Ready? 3,
I'll do
2,
it myself.
1.
Wonder Woman!
I can't. With the
I left
fucking
you hanging.
mic.
Wonder Woman!
One more time, Brett.
Wonder Woman!
It's a wonder how she blocked those bullets at all.
It's hard with the fucking mic in the way. Give me a break.
Wonder Woman be shopping. Batman, he's operating independently, and he's seeing what Superman's doing. He's seeing what the Justice League is doing. They're imposing order. They're finding these rogue metahumans that follow Magog, and they're placing them in a high-tech prison they called the Gulag with the plans to rehabilitate them, finger quotes. However, he's gathering more prisoners than actual converts, and he's locking up these rogue heroes with the villains indiscriminately.
Yeah, I was like, it
and
was
also
pretty,
indiscreetly,
pretty
he's-
open.
you know,
Indiscreetly, yeah.
Wonder Woman and him kind of have this continual debate throughout it. Like, you know, just because they don't fall in line, should we be arresting them? And Superman's like, yeah, sorry. Like at this point, yeah. And like, I don't hate Injustice Superman, but I agree with him when he says, I am judge, jury, and executioner
Right.
because you guys are not getting this right. He. In this, I don't think is as bloodthirsty. Diana almost is. She's the one who's like, you know, this is.
She's savage.
Yeah.
She's savage. She's the one who gives him the sword with magic and is like, you've always been a little impervious to magic. I wonder what that plot device could lead to.
Chekhov's lightning.
Yeah. Occam Shazam fan. Occam's Billy Batson. Spectre is, I love the way he's shaded in this because he's not quite ghouly, but he's also the same color as Wesley. You know, like.
He's freaking jacked too. You see his freaking 12-pack?
Who's
Spectre?
Yeah, Jim works out.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, that's the first
He's
thing
a
I noticed.
spectacle.
He is a spectacle. Oh, that's why I was wanting my name
Jim
to have
Cor-
Spectre in it. I just wanted a little Spectre in me.
If you could cast anyone as old Superman, who would you cast?
Old
Right,
Superman?
Kingdom Come Superman right now. Mine, Kurt Russell.
Ooh, I like Kurt Russell. I like Kurt Russell a lot. That would be cool.
Or Woody Allen. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Harvey.
Old Superman. That's a great question. Pierce Brosnan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even though he was pretty good as what's his name?
Dr. Fate.
Mhm.
He was good as
He
Dr.
was,
Fate.
that should have been a JSA movie versus what was it, Black Adam?
Yeah.
Instead of we kind of got two okay movies of the same thing. But like I think this is the end game for James Gunn's DCU.
Oh, yeah. I
This is-
agree. I think this is what it's all leading to. And this is, if it is, it's leading to a very, very cool thing.
But why? Tell us why it's leading to something so cool, Brent.
I think it's because when we're at our lowest points, that's kind of when we can see things the most clear. And so this is like heroes really having shit hit the fan. And you start to understand why, as you said earlier, Troy, the world needs heroes.
And it's through the eye of the beholder, right? Like Alan Moore wouldn't think that.
Right.
But Alex Ross does because it's from a certain point of view.
And Alan Moore also worships a snake. So, I mean, do with that what you will.
I do too. You know what I mean?
I worship Alan Moore.
It's in my boots. Snake.
I gotta be careful when I laugh at your jokes because the mask.
You could rip it off. That shit's just gonna come off. It's gonna come
Yeah.
out. I'm sorry.
I did my best.
You did well.
You did good,
You're
yeah.
wearing the Kingdom Come shirt I got you in London. That's the
Yeah.
best thing I could ask
Dude,
for.
that was such an awesome gift.
You could wear.
You're easy to shop for, my brother.
You want to be Wonder Woman?
Oh, God.
You want to cross dress in this universe?
Who's been talking about who's who told?
Who's got it easiest in the league?
Easiest in the league?
Who's easiest?
I can tell you that too.
Yeah,
Ollie
who's-
West.
Bobby Light.
Who's got it easiest? That's a great question. Probably Hawkman.
I was gonna say that,
Who expects
Yeah.
anything of Carter Hall?
but Hawk Girl, badass.
Dude, Hawkgirl's awesome. Oh my
Badass.
That's the only exception. I feel like all the bird ones are bitches.
Dude,
like you know how I feel about Night
D'Angelo's
Owl.
Always Sunny.
Like
Nice.
Yeah.
I was so much more into Shira on the Justice League cartoon though than Wonder Woman.
And
Like
her-
when she takes
When she takes it off after she's been kind of exiled, and her thing with John.
something about redheads, man.
Let me tell you.
Dude, she is
Red Tail Hawk.
banging. Oh my god.
Of all the cartoon characters I would fuck, that's the one I thought about doing it the most to. Never
Same.
understood how, because every time I'd wake up from the dream and be covered in blue paint. We used to have blue
She
paint.
just looks like she'd dominate you too. And I was
That's
like,
what I
wait, am I
want.
a submissive?
I want her to take that thing with the fucking spiky
like,
things on it
I'm
and hit me in the
contemplating
head.
all control.
Yeah.
Oh man, we can go unlimited on this Justice League.
Put me in a sport movie.
Do I want to be pegged?
Oh, I got Justice League Heroes
Oh, yeah?
on PS2.
Oh my god! I was
gotta
like,
go play.
"Where is pegging?" reminding him.
No, because we were
for?
going to talk about like we were going to do like a
It's my two favorite things: superheroes and getting pegged. Chapter 2. So the last big part of so Batman, he's operating independently. He views Superman's methods as tyrannical for throwing heroes in the gulag. He's like, you would just do the same thing to me. So he creates this group called the Outsiders, who are a little more human in their influence. It's heroes that don't have powers or his lieutenants, like Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, like Oliver Queen, and what's her name's there too, Dina Lance. Black
Okay,
Canary.
that's who that was. I could not for the life of me
And
figure
she
out who
also
that
has
was.
powers.
Yeah, Blue Beetle doesn't.
Blue Beetle doesn't.
Jaime
Jaime
does.
does. Ted Cord doesn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Ted was the first one.
The first one was technically Dan Garrett.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your boy, Blue Beetle. Man.
Yeah, I love
Fuck
Blue
with
Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Did you like the movie,
I didn't see the movie.
dude?
Yeah, it's good.
Raimi Spider-Man 2002, good.
Oh, tight.
Yeah,
Nice.
very practical. You would really like it.
I
I
like that.
highly enjoy Blue Beetle. Should be one of those characters that's always cameoing in the DCU.
Well, I love the guy who's playing Jaime Reyes because I love
George
Cobra Kai.
Lopez.
Yeah, what,
Jaime Reyes,
He
Jaime
is in the
Reyes.
movie.
he's in the movie.
And he
What-
goes, Batman's a fascist?
He calls it-
Fascist. He calls Batman a fascist, and all the Snyder Bros are very happy about that. And what is,
Yes, he
he
is.
goes down to the Batcave to talk to Bruce.
Yeah.
And Bruce is just telling him to piss off.
Yeah,
man.
he's like, I fucking had it with you.
Yeah.
He's like Tony to Cap in Endgame. He's like, I needed you.
Yeah.
and you weren't there. He
he's
goes,
like
"And now-"
Tony Soprano to Janice in Sopranos. Just like, you left, I stayed.
Mhm. Which Tony was right about. Janice is the worst.
Shoes off, blowing roadies.
Yeah,
Roadies. Oh, you don't want to know.
but
Moment of silence for the roadies.
I usually wait when I do a Sopranos over Brent
I
because
love his Tony Soprano so much. His James Gandolfini.
it's
But
just
yeah,
my son.
it's good.
My
It's
fucking
good.
Cholet. Dick
yeah.
Grayson, dressing up like a fucking Robin.
the last part of chapter 2.
When Superman leaves,
Yeah.
everybody that he had recruited, Batman,
Yeah.
they all come out and they're like, "You
That's
think he
right.
heard us? Did he hear our X-rays?
you're
What's
right.
going on?" And then they go, "Do you have a plan, Batman?" And then Green Arrow goes, "Have you ever known Batman to not have a plan?"
Mm-hmm.
And you're going, "Okay, what's Batman's plan here? Is he going to take out Superman? Is he going to get these guys and train them Dark Knight Rises style?" But we never know Batman's plan until some shit goes off in the conference room.
All we know is the chapter ends with, and
That's
we'll get to the
water
Magog thing in a
cooler
second,
talk.
but the chapter ends with him forming an alliance with Luthor. And we're like, what are you doing, Batman? Like, what?
You know what he's doing right away.
but yeah, you know he's up
You
to
know
something.
right away.
Yeah.
It's like with who died on Spidey Big Time last week, and you were like, he's
Jackal.
not dead.
Yeah,
Jackal.
obviously the guy with tons of clones of himself is not dead.
Yeah, no, Luthor looks like DEA agent Hank Schrader.
He does look like Hank.
Hey,
Schrader.
buddy, want to give you some of that kryptonite? Jesse, Luthor's onto us. We have to cook.
Jesse, I can't retire.
Kryptonite, Jesse. Yo, Mr. White, like,
Yo.
why don't we take magic and like, bitch? I find you to be not a cautious man, Bruce Wayne. Your partner was Dick, and he was Grayson. He's Dick often, isn't he? Breaking Batman.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2 coming soon.
Sorry, what else happens in this chapter?
All right, so the last big thing is Superman confronts Magog, and you're wondering why he hasn't confronted Magog before, and you're expecting this huge fight between Superman and Magog,
Mm-hmm.
but Magog is remorseful and he's racked with guilt over what happened, and he wants Superman to kill him.
Got regrets.
Yeah, he's like, dude, he goes, this sucks. I did not want the public to choose me. They should have chosen you. This is what happened. They chose me. They chose the hero that kills over the hero that doesn't. And now all these people are dead, and it's because of me. Please kill me.
Yeah, he goes,
Please kill me.
Yeah, you know, I thought this is what they wanted. something along the lines of that the ghosts never stop. Please
Yeah.
just take them away from me. And
Exactly.
Superman's response, and it feels like they got inspiration from T'Challa's line against Baron von Zemo at the end of Captain America: Civil War. The living are not done with you yet.
Exactly.
You know, like that is Superman. My dad explained to me why Superman beat Zod in Superman 2. He catered to his ego. Superman is highly intelligent, and nobody expects that of him because he plays off the Boy Scout role so well.
That's why we love All-Star, because he beats Luthor with his intelligence.
Beats him with his intelligence and with a 2x4.
And with a 2x4.
That was crazy. He went, this one's for...
You're crazy.
You crazy,
I
Clark.
like you, but you're crazy.
You crazy. Yeah, maybe put the 2x4 down.
It's chapter 3 up in the sky. So Luthor's Mankind Liberation Front, they have a plan, and Batman's trying to figure out what
That's
it is.
what we look like.
That's what we look like.
Yeah.
The Hall of Justice.
Look at that. Okay.
And so we're wondering what Luthor's plan is, but we know it somehow involves Captain Marvel, and we find out what it is. And his goal is to incite a conflict by having Marvel break open the Gulag and incite a battle that will wipe out most of the metahumans and create a power vacuum that will allow Luthor to seize control. And we're wondering also, how can...
Although many in the Legion of Doom claim the Gulag Storm was a hoax.
That's true. And and so people are wondering, though, how could Captain Marvel be under Luthor's control? Because he's one of the most powerful superheroes, and Batman figures something out. That's not Captain Marvel. That's Billy Batson, who's an adult now and looks just like Captain Marvel. That's how Luthor was able to control him.
There's so many.
There was also one scene I wanted to talk about with where he goes to Apocalypse.
Oh, dude, with
and he
Orion.
sees Orion, and Orion looks like a drunk mechanic.
Yeah, he looks like a drunk mechanic. And who else does he look like?
Who else would you say Orion looks like here?
Dr. Sass?
Doctor Who?
I was thinking that
It does
too.
kind of look like Doctor
I was thinking
Very
that.
but I was
apey.
going to say he looks like Darkseid.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's starting- The guy who he's hated his whole life, this horrible...
He has become.
He's become, and that's when we eventually get to Mr. Miracle, it completely changes your perception of Orion. You're like, because Orion's always portrayed as this badass. It was just like this absolute legend who hates Darkseid. But
Well-
Mr. Miracle makes you realize Orion's kind of a bitch boy.
And Superman goes to Orion. Why?
He goes to Orion because he's like, he wants advice.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to be the symbol of hope, but I have all these like fake heroes.
Fake heroes coming up to me. They're saying I was born in Krypton. I was born right here in Kansas, USA. Save Mothra. We love Mothra.
And so there are all these fake heroes, and I have to do something about it, and I don't know what to do. Can you give me advice? And Orion's like, yeah, bring them here. He goes, bring them to Apocalypse. They go, I'll look after them. And Superman's like, that's not a solution. That's not a solution at all. You suck, Orion. Because Orion does
That's
suck.
a Band-Aid.
He
bitch.
also Orion had something where they said he was like, whether you're helping a planet out or whether you're keeping them enslaved, you're not doing the humanity of it all any good if you're the one who's in charge of doing any of it. And it's kind of ironic hearing him say that to Superman. But that's why, I mean, does Darkseid not kick the dog shit out of Superman every time he fights him? Don't you think Superman would learn one of his moves? Never does. Orion didn't become that. Is he a new god? No.
Orion is a new god, and
he is.
Orion is such a fucking little bitch because he acts like he's this total badass. Like he's
AJ Soprano.
He's seen though, exactly. He grew up on because Orion is Darkseid's son, yes, and because of a peace treaty with Highfather, they did a son exchange. So Orion was raised by
Fargo.
Yeah, he was raised on New Genesis by Highfather, and he's basically lived in heaven. And
so he's from among the stars, like Orion's belt. Okay.
and Highfather's Highfather's son is raised on Apocalypse, and that's Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle. So Mr. Miracle is the actual legend. He was the one that was raised and had to deal with all this shit. He's the fucking real badass. Orion is a guy who pretends to be
And
a
don't
badass.
you worry, baby. She's on the list.
Mr.
Thank you. I didn't know that about Orion. That's
Yeah.
really crazy because I was really fascinated by him. And I do want to point out, I love the dig where Batman shits on Superman's suit. He goes, black? Is that from your tailor?
I do love that too.
It's also impossible not to read this in Kevin Conroy's voice.
Dude, I know.
Like, and that's Alex Ross's dude,
It's
man.
killer,
Like,
man.
so good.
But so in chapter 3, Batman figures out the plan. which is that Luthor is going to use Billy Batson as Captain Marvel to break open the Gulag. And Batman, this is when he goes, all right, fuck you, Luthor. Obviously, we're not going to go around with this. I was just waiting for the opportune time, and has all of his agents attack. And Luthor's like, you double-crossed me. And what does Batman say?
I learned it from the best. I picture him do that in his light Bruce Wayne voice. I learned it from the best. No, I learned it from the best. I learned it from the best, good. Luthor. If you can't tell, I'm a gay man doing this voice.
He always intended to betray Luthor, but they're too late to stop Marvel because it's a cool scene. Bruce has his leg on Billy Batson, and he's like, Billy, like,
listen to me.
Yeah, listen to me. You don't want to do this. And Billy breaks away. He sees all these worms that Luthor has been using.
This is chapter 3, right?
This is chapter 3. And then eventually Batman's just like, Billy, don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah.
And Billy says it. What does he say?
He says, no lives matter. I mean, Shazam. Sorry, I was in there for a while. They had Fox News on a lot at Luthor Corp.
Oh, my God. And so he turns into Captain Marvel. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman continues to be more aggressive. She's advocating.
I didn't think it was possible. She just kept freaking leveling up, dude.
I don't know, man. I kind of think she's right here, but I'm glad Superman's the one to pull the balloon back down, and I'm glad Batman's kind of there to hit her with the sublesa and let her know, hey, this isn't the right way to do it.
Yeah, dude. That chapter 4 argument between them.
So good. So good. The only other argument that I think was better between the two of them was in Justice League Unlimited. And she's like, why did you date Bruce? And he's like, because I'm completely mentally unstable. I have mommy issues and I work a lot.
And Wonder Woman's like, I like bad boys.
Yeah, not just the men, but the women and the children too. My pussy wet.
Nobody's safe.
So tensions are escalating. Honestly, the heroes and the villains within the Gulag are planning a riot anyway. But Marvel shows up. And he breaks open the Gulag, and that takes us into chapter 4.
Why is it called Gulag?
From the Russians.
Yeah.
But like,
the Russian word.
I just don't.
They're not calling it the Gulag. It's nicknamed the Gulag because they're like, this is like not like a real good prison.
I was like, wow, they're paying homage. Interesting.
Yeah, they're paying homage to Stalin.
Yeah, like we know how we feel about this, Brent. I don't know. It always just reminds me of Goulash too, which is a weird.
Billy's face like is drawn. I mean, just look at, like, this is a scared kid adult who's had his brains scrambled for years. It's kind of like Tim Drake at the end of Return of the Joker.
Dude, yes.
You know, that's what it reminds me a lot of. And
you feel for Billy so much in this.
God. So I don't want to jump ahead. Tell me if I am. But little Easter egg, the armor Wonder Woman is wearing here, she wore in the Wonder Woman comedy 1984. Starring Slater's boyfriend.
And Anti-Venom.
Am I jumping ahead of anything when I talk about the sword?
The sword?
That Wonder Woman cuts Clark with.
Oh, no.
So she takes Superman has an invulnerability to magic. It won't kill him at first.
Yeah.
He's striking out blows. It's going to cause some blood. So she just cuts him. So we as an audience are reminded that Superman has an imperviability to magic. Because in the show, he gets rocked quite a few times.
Totally.
Not just by Livewire, but like, you know, people who have magic. I don't know what it is. That's why that Mortal Kombat versus DC game was so good.
Yo, can we get a live-action Livewire?
We will.
Yeah. Chapter 4, so the never-ending battle. So the conflict reaches a climax as the imprisoned metahumans break free, leading to this massive battle. We get this great shot of Superman fighting against Captain Marvel, who's still under Luthor's control, even though Luthor's been arrested. And so the UN is just like, this is no good. This is not kosher. And so they launch 3 nukes at the metahumans because that's always the government's response.
Well, in their defense, okay, what's the right option here?
That's true.
Do we let the metahumans blow everyone up, or do we kill a few civilians and save everybody else in the country? But like,
You're right.
I mean, like, I'm not saying there's a right answer.
I
don't want those guys in charge of it. I want the Justice League in charge of that answer.
It was a Sophie's choice. Like, they were really, it was just not.
Yes.
The UN was just not in a good
And that's
position.
why she won't be president again.
and so Wonder Woman ends up actually killing one of the villains, and Batman's like, what are you doing? You cannot do this. And Wonder Woman's like, how dare you judge me? You're like passing judgment on Superman for not being around. Where the fuck were you? And they just stop arguing when they see these nukes. They're like,
How cool is the bat suit though?
oh, dude, the bat suit's amazing.
Bat suit is amazing.
Because this is the first time we see him in the bat suit.
In the bat suit, yeah, and like even as a crippled old man who's been beaten down as Batman for years, just him coming down, and then that little bat grin
Dude.
right there. That's
so
motherfucking
epic.
Batman. That's Batman, dog.
And Green Arrow has had no adjustments or enhancements in 10
Nothing.
years.
He has not taken Propecia. He's kind of all over the place. The fight scenes in this are not like comic fight scenes where you get a little detail in the front and then some color in the back. I mean, every single I could see the curl.
You can
in Quinn's
feel the punches.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
And that's why we get to my favorite fight scene, my favorite illustrated fight scene in the history of comics. This came out 28 years ago. I still think no fight scene tops this. Superman versus Captain Marvel, where Superman sees Captain Marvel. He's got like this shit-eating grin on his face. He's like, what happened to you, Marvel? You used to be a friend. He goes, will you just say something? And Marvel says something, and what does he say?
Shazam, motherfucker!
Shazam!
What song is playing?
The lightning comes down and shocks Superman.
Oh, send your ass back to Kansas. Tell Martha I said what's up.
Magic lightning is
She gone.
destroying him. And what does Marvel say again? He says Shazam!
Sublazor to Shazam.
And Superman's like, bro, stop
He's
it.
like,
And he
please
says
stop it.
Shazam!
My one weakness, onomatopoeia.
And so Marvel says one more time, Shazam, and Superman goes, not this time, motherfucker, grabs Marvel, gets the lightning to hit him, turns him back into Batson, and then puts the hand over his mouth.
I've never forgotten that my whole life. And they did a great job in Justice League when they put it over his mouth.
Fight's over, son.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh,
And
God.
Superman knows that third nuke is there, and he says to Marvel, he goes, the choice is up to you. He goes, you are the only person who is a man and who is a god. You are the only person that can see the world from both sides. I know you're
Because
free from-
Kanye is off duty today.
Because Kanye is off duty. He is a musical genius with no bad political opinions.
Really put him through the wire.
And so he goes, you're the only person that can make this choice. Superman goes, I am going to go up into the sky. You can either stop me and let this nuke wipe out everyone.
Well, obviously,
or-
we're not going to stop you, dude. Only one of us can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Fucking hold on?
Yeah, or you can let me take out the nuke. And so he goes, the choice is up to you. Marvel is free from the brainwashing. And so what does he do? Billy Batson says, Shazam one more time. He turns back into Marvel. He throws Superman out of the sky.
You gotta be a tough motherfucker to do that shit,
Dude,
man.
he's the only person that can do that. The
I
only guy
was
that
going to
comes
say, I've never
close.
seen...
Ever
I
in
hate
history?
fight
What?
scenes
I said ever in history.
Everyone,
that I can think of.
yeah,
I mean, like...
maybe Doomsday.
Maybe Doomsday, Darkseid, but
I
like
was curious.
I hate fight scenes because you both have that power. It's not an advantage.
Exactly.
This was the way to do that. Like, because Superman's kind of being like, all right, I'm gonna be the martyr, and Shazam is like, no. I got 10-year-old brains, dog. We good. I got this.
He was like Porco to Reiner in Attack on Titan when Reiner's
Yes.
like, Falco, eat me, and Porco's like, no.
Yeah.
He's eating me, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the guy.
Yeah.
And he throws up. I can be that guy.
I can do those things.
I can do those.
Why do you think he did that? Because he was cognizant of the brainwash that Luthor had him on for all those years, and this was his redemption, or
I think he's so broken at this point. I think he regrets his decisions, and I think he knows what Batman knows, what everyone knows, is that the world needs Superman.
yeah.
I think he's like,
They need Shope.
Yeah, they need.
Well, even when
So-
Batman, it rarely ever admits he's wrong, and that was one of the things I loved about the Snyder movie was he realized he messed up by killing Superman and did everything he could to bring him back, and realized the only way to bring him back was with his heart, was with Lois Lane, right? And in this, he has no Lois anymore.
He doesn't have a center.
He has come close to a center. Wonder Woman's been over here. Superman's been over here. Throughout the story, even when they're fighting, even when they're stabbing, even when they're kissing, they're coming closer and closer to that center. And maybe it's like, Joe Biden get married to his second wife, and now Hunter smokes crack.
Evens out.
It evens out. Like this is, I don't like the relationship between Superman and Wonder Woman being romantic, but in this it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think it works. I think it works in this. And Marvel makes the sacrifice play. He throws Superman
What's
out
he
of the
say?
sky. He says Shazam 3 times. He says,
Give it to me.
Shazam, Shazam! Shazam!
Rachel.
And the nuke detonates. Marvel gets killed. He doesn't do a great job of saving everyone because
No,
most
of
of the people die. But none of
Yeah.
But
The ones who flew
it
survived.
was all the non-playable characters.
Yeah, guys who weren't going to sell action
Sorry,
figures
guys,
for
I
anyway.
can only hold one
I am
passenger
become
at
death,
a time.
destroyer of continuity.
Is anyone gonna miss Captain Comet?
His mother won't.
Someone's gonna call me on the comments. Well, actually, Captain Comet died earlier in the story. I know. I know. I'm just making a point.
Comets are meant to be short-lived. You only see them once every how many years?
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
That was beautiful. So Superman flies to the UN. He's enraged. And he's confronting the UN. He goes, "What the fuck did you do? So many of my friends, so many heroes.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I told you to stay inside.
I'm doing something.
You were in time
55
out.
burgers.
55 burgers, 55 fries.
You
gotta let me go front. I'm doing something.
You're rich. And so
Don't pay it forward.
But he's like going into the UN to kill everybody.
Basically, we get that
He
implication.
traps them in.
And yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, he goes, that's what we're thinking. He's got that look in his eyes, like Injustice Superman.
Injustice Superman, yeah.
And who stops him? Remember Norman? Norman's there.
Remember our
Who
good buddy
encountered
old
them
pal?
on the Green Lantern ship earlier, and they're like, who the fuck is this dude? And then he's there again to tell him, very much in a pastor way, you're wrong, and I don't know the right way, but better pray to find out.
Yeah. You should reconsider what you're going to do here. Yeah, that's basically what he said. That actually is a good point. I forgot to mention that. There's a cool scene in issue 3 when the Flash finds Norman. And
Yes, he grabs him. That was really cool because the Flash is going too fast. He can't slow down now, right? Yeah. And Superman ultimately is swayed by Norman.
Yeah.
Because Norman says to him, of right and wrong, a gift to humanity, take it back. If you want redemption, Clark, it lies in the very next decision you make. Make it as a man and make it right. And Clark is confronted by Diana and Bruce, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. And Batman goes, enough to leave us with the same problem we had before. The same impasse, the same dangers, the same distrust, the same everything. What now? Now we put things right. Years ago, I let those I swore to protect drive away. We all did. And that was the day all of this began. We saw you as gods, as we saw ourselves. And we both were wrong. But I no longer care about the mistakes of yesterday. I care about coping with tomorrow together.
We give Norman shit, but that was pretty cool.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
That was really
And then they unmask and using the wisdom of one man left as his legacy. Yeah, it's a flag.
Bro,
it's a
you're
flag.
so funny.
No,
You're like
that's a great
teacher to
cartoon
a
Easter egg. Like
kid.
it makes me.
You're like a teacher to a
Billy-
kid. You're like, and then what
Yeah.
did they do after that? Tell us.
I know. I was hosting at Broadway yesterday, and Adam Hamada, I brought him up. He goes, "Keep it going for that substitute biology teacher over here."
Oh my God.
Bruce I think he turns the Batcave into a hospital. So Bruce is like, so they're all taking on new roles. So Superman is no longer going to lead humanity; he's going to guide humanity. So it's going to be more of a political role. Batman is no longer going to be policing Gotham; he's going to be a healer. So he turns the Batcave into a place for people that were broken by Magog and those other metahumans, and he makes the villains who started the conflict, aka Lex Luthor, work there. And
What could go wrong?
Yeah, just a bunch of bald dudes.
What's her name? Wonder Woman is welcome back to Themyscira.
Come back here, you giant glob of clay.
And Norman goes back to what he does.
She's made of clay.
The shape of water.
Did you know that?
What?
Wonder
she's
Woman's made of clay.
Norman McKay leads a sermon about the hope for humanity, and among the congregants is Jimmy Corrigan, a.k.a. the Spectre in human form. So Norman actually made an impact. And Superman and Wonder Woman in the epilogue meet Batman at Booster Gold's restaurant, which is kind of like that Chili's they're talking to. And they're like, "Hey, Bruce, we have an announcement." Bruce is like, "I'm the world's greatest detective." Wonder Woman, "I know you're pregnant." And they're like, "We don't know a better father than you. We want you to be the godfather."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Batman's like, "Well, every kid I've met, I've made him
horrible.
Is it me, or is old Bruce pretty hot?
Okay, I think Batman hates himself as Bruce Wayne and says that it's Batman who's doing it, but it's Bruce. it's Bruce because of he knows what it feels like to not have anyone and to be completely desperate, and it's his way of being like, it's like the way dads are like, what do you mean I didn't tell you I loved you? I put you through college.
Yeah.
You know, like Bruce is the same way, and I think he kind of has he looks at Clark as corny.
Yeah.
Because they had two very different upbringings and what led them into superherohood, but this is Superman to me, and it's also written by someone who I can't think loves Superman more. I mean, you have to figure, what was it like seeing Christopher Reeve as Superman in the 70s?
And that movie, I mean, for anyone that hasn't seen the Richard Donner original Superman, boy, is that a movie.
1, 2,
just 1 and 2.
3. I like
Which
Richard
is
Pryor.
the one, is Pryor in 3?
Yeah, and 4 is one when you're 3 years old. It's great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how did this get made? And it's because they blew the Richard Pryor cocaine budget. But I love the farewell kiss that he gives when they're flying off, and
The kiss he gives Batman.
Yeah.
Come here,
Come here, buddy. What's our ending line for this one?
Oh, yeah.
Gee whiz, wasn't that a spectacular video? If you like that and want more, try clicking one of the videos you see on the screen now. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. And as always, true believers, Excelsior!